Good afternoon. I'm John Gerzema with the Harris Poll. We're at Sport Beach, and I'm so honored to be with Michelle Froah, the Global Chief Marketing Officer at ETS. How are you, Michelle?
I'm doing great, John. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Tell us about the week. What have you been doing? Just running around?
Yes, it's been for me. It's been a fast 24 hours
Yeah.
so far. I'm bookending both of my kids' graduations.
Congratulations.
So one from college and the next one from high school. So I'm only here for just a bit, and I'm very excited to be here with you for that.
Oh, well, thank you for making the effort. Can we talk a little bit about ETS? I mean, start there, just a little bit about the company, because it's a pretty amazing company.
Yeah, thank you. So ETS has been a nonprofit for about 77 years, and so rooted in a deep legacy and reputation for the science of measurement. And we've historically applied that expertise to education and educational testing. And, when I joined a little over 2 years ago, we needed a business and a brand transformation to be more relevant to people who have to be lifelong learners, right? Learning doesn't stop when you're just out of college or out of school. And so now we are applying that into the workforce, and we're an education and talent solution organization.
It's a really remarkable business transformation that you've led. And I think about like where this is going. One of the big ideas in here is the Human Progress Report, right? And I think one of the statistics that I thought was absolutely fascinating, I think the majority of people around the world in our 18-country study believe that skills and credentials are going to be more important than a college degree in 10 years.
Yeah, right. There were so many interesting insights in the ETS Human Progress Report. The other one, I think, is that things are changing so fast, right? Technology is rapidly changing not only how we live, but how we work.
Right.
And over 67% of people around the world have anxiety or actually sleeplessness about being relevant. So we've said they have FOBO, fear of being obsolete, right? And you would think that would be with the older generation, but actually Gen Z was a higher percentage. And so skills, to your point, are becoming more and more important to not just show what you know, but show what you can do and demonstrate skill proficiency. And that's why with our brand transformation, again, we're taking our expertise, but we're reshaping how we fit into people's lives. So our new mission is to advance the science of measurement to power human progress. And that human progress is so important to us that we want to be able to measure that as well. And so this year, in April, we also launched our Human Progress Commitment, which is to ready 100 million plus people around the world to be ready for the next generation of jobs. And part of that being ready is to be able to demonstrate skill proficiency, not just technical proficiency, right? It's also proficiency of AI literacy, for example, or those durable skills that are transferable from job to job, from career to career. So we're measuring what's typically been very hard to measure: collaboration, persistence, agility, resiliency, creative thinking, and those are very important.
Well, what I find fascinating, Michelle, about this is the connection between sort of this relevancy and this continuous learning, and as you pointed out in the data, mental health, right? Mental health and wellness. Like, how are you feeling like that you're thriving and you're moving ahead in the world, which I think we saw in the data. Something like 71 or 72% of people said that AI was going to disrupt their future career, right?
Right.
So this is a bit like a journey where you're going to basically be looking at education in micro places as you sort of navigate your way forward.
Right. And being able to demonstrate that in a very micro-credential kind of way. That's also, I think, something that we are aiming to bring to people and to organizations. We call it Future Nav. It's our new composable solution set. So it's all of these skill assessments, but the output is a future nav skill print. And so if you
Okay.
think about, your own unique individual skill or your fingerprint, this is like that, but for your skills, so that you can showcase your holistic skill set.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And from an HR perspective, and managers, if they want to upskill their people, there's obviously a huge opportunity here for retention, right? It's realizing
That's
that
right.
people are moving.
It's very expensive to hire and rehire people, right? And so
Oh,
it's a
okay,
good
yeah.
ROI to be able to retain people, but also that people feel valued and are more productive at work, right? And so one of the additions that we did with the Human Progress Report was to survey 1,000 HR talent decision makers here in the U.S. And there were some really interesting insights there too. So take AI literacy, for example.
Right.
I think it was like over 60% of HR decision makers said, all of my jobs that I'm trying to fill have to have AI literacy or have people who are AI literate or fluent. But when we looked across the globe, only about 40% of employees thought that they actually were proficient. And so, HR decision makers are saying, well, my learning agenda for my workforce, I think 80% of them said has to have AI literacy in the next 18 months. And so that's really where we're trying to help close that skill gap by first measuring the literacy, whether that's understanding, general understanding, prompt engineering, responsible use of AI, et cetera, and then have people apply that. And we actually use, our solutions are AI powered. So AI powered to measure AI literacy. And it's more, you're not going to measure something like that with multiple choice. You're going to measure that in an applied way and in a situational judgment test.
Well, no, this is all really interesting, and I think I couldn't help but mention that we're sitting in Cannes. Doesn't look like it with our background.
Yeah, we
got a little hot in here, so you don't see the lovely Mediterranean behind us. But we've got all these marketers and creative people gathered here today. I mean, you touched on something interesting to me before we started talking about this idea of creativity as a skill. Can you kind of unpack that a little bit?
Yeah. So creative problem solving and creativity, I think, is a skill that we all need, but most importantly, marketers need, right? And we, creativity isn't just about ideas. It's about understanding the skills in context and being able to apply those to drive brand activations that drive business.
Oh, really interesting.
Yeah, and so, thinking of new creative ways to do that might be different than our historical ways. And so to be really modern marketers in today's world, I think is going to take that creativity as a skill.
That's really interesting. Michelle, I could talk to you all afternoon, but it's so fun. But we should let you get back to the beach. Well, not the beach, the boardwalk, or as it were. Really great to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you too, John. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.